Alright, what's going on? So this video is gonna be a little different than the last one, which last one was always about my books and getting back into reading and stuff, which is great video. If you haven't checked it out, go check that out. This one's gonna be more about the state we are in currently. So look at the news, pay attention to the news. It is you know, not looking too good. Now obviously most news companies realize that bad news or negative affecting news tends to do better um, money wise for them. They tend to make more profit. More people tend to read the news if there's something tragic that happens or something bad that's happened. So a lot of the good stuff that happens nowadays, we don't really see. Now there's a lot of content creators and a lot of people out there that I follow that I've seen that are actively trying to, on a daily basis, showing you what positives are coming out of it. Um, with that said, it is still pretty helpless. You feel pretty hopeless the way things are going. Um, you want to do something, but you feel anything you do because it's just you as a person trying to do it seems so insignificant and small compared to the greater picture of what should be done. Um, and I've been like that too. But um, I'm making this video because I want to talk to you about some stuff that you can do on a daily basis that is a net positive in the world right now. So something that I've been doing the last couple months and something that I'm going to be ramping up recently is just being as green as you can, as eco-friendly as you can possibly. Um, some simple things you can do around your house or apartment. Um, if you have a bunch of lamps and lights, there's one right there. When they are not being used or plugged in, or when they're not being used, unplug them. You know, it pulls electricity. It is better for the environment. Um, try not to keep anything really plugged in if you can. Certain things are hard, like like TVs and stuff, because they're behind the furniture and stuff, so it is kind of difficult. But with what you can, unplug it. Next thing I'm gonna do, composting. Now I'm in an apartment, so I can't necessarily have a huge area in my yard to throw all my scraps. But there's ways you can do it that are small and effective and help, especially with someone like me who, if you can see over there, uh, got a bunch of plants out in our balcony. So don't got paper soil. If um, now I haven't started yet. I plan on doing it. Hopefully in the coming weeks or so, start composting more. You just have to look up what there's a bunch of different videos, a bunch of different ways, bins, and all that kind of stuff you can do for composting. So I would just do your research, look up videos, find articles, see what works best for you. Because there's people like me who want to do stuff like this, but they don't even have a balcony or something like that. So there's different ways to do it. Just do your own research. Yeah, and you can save a lot of trash too. All your food scraps from like fruits, vegetables, eggshells, um, paper products, cardboard, all can go in there. And that's, it's saving you money also on like trash bags. And, for me, I have to, take my trash out. I live on the third floor. I take it downstairs, walk around my building to the dumpster, throw it in the dumpster. So it saves me less trips for that. Not that it's a big deal, but, you know, it's also better for the environment. Next thing, I would say is probably just start doing eco bricks. So again, with all this, I've done my own research. I know what I know from my head, um, but it's not necessarily going to be true. So I would just recommend if you are really interested in certain one of these things that I mentioned, just do your own research. That's the best thing you can do. I think if you watch anyone on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff, don't believe everything you hear. Just do your own research first, even if it ends up becoming that a person was speaking the truth. It's just better to do your own research. It's a little rant, but so eco bricks. So take like bottles like this, and you basically just make sure it's clean. You gotta make sure it's dry and there's no food juice or anything like that in there. And you basically just shove a bunch of non-recyclables, like plastics and stuff that you just shove in there. Basically, fills all full. And depending on where you live, you can look up. If you go to egobricks.org, you'll be able to find an area or place in your area, hopefully, that you can donate because they use these, and you can use them too on your own, but you can use them to make gardens. Um, they've even like I think it was Honduras, maybe Ecuador, one of those Central American countries, but they actually used it to make an entire school out of these. Um, so that's something you can be doing. Again, saves that whole trash thing as well. And again, if there's an area that you live in and you look on the map, whatever, they know there's no one in the area that takes them, and you're just trying to save trash, you can just throw them away. Um, Now, the reason for that would be this is a recyclable bottle. Put a bunch of non-recyclable plastic in it to throw it away. All that plastic that usually will break down pretty quick and spread microplastics in the soil, the water, drinking water. Animals are going to eat it, so it's going to be in their blood. It avoids that as much as possible, and it takes a lot longer for those plastics to break out and spread. So it's still better than just like throwing them in the garbage and recycling this. And a lot of the times in recycling, like again, I'm just going off of my experience, but just research this too, just check it. Um, but recycling centers, most of the stuff that you're recycling, they're gonna look at it. If they can't find the label and they don't feel like trying hard enough to look for it, they're just gonna throw it in the garbage. So like, I can't remember the number, but like 10% of what you recycle is actually getting recycled. The rest is just going to landfills. So, you know, and then another one which is going to be more online. So, for instance, there's an area in my town that is a ecologically good area left that is not being overdeveloped by um, money hungry politicians who want to build a bunch of houses and shit. So, but they're planning on trying to build a huge multi development area, bunch of houses and stuff, and just ruin the whole ecological area. You can go onto places like change.org, a bunch of other like state government websites to sign petitions to stop that. And they sign petitions, they obviously will stop it. So that is one thing you can be doing, especially for your local area. You can always donate. Donate obviously is one of the best things you can be doing, especially if you're someone who is working a lot and they're busy. If you have the money, definitely recommend doing that. Um, Bunch of different places you can donate. There's a lot of different you know, drinking water ones, donations for food and stuff, especially for a lot of the humanitarian aids going on in the world, like in Sudan, obviously in Palestine, what's going on there, Ukraine war, and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of different ones you can be donating to give food to those people who don't have food and can't. Um, Another one would be you can just email your state representatives, tell them what's going on about certain things, and just keep messing with them. Just keep messaging them, and eventually, keep bugging them. Enough people bug them, something's gonna happen. And that kind of goes into this one, which is I'm just gonna say protest. Um, no kings. There's been 3 of them already. May Day just happened, all that kind of stuff. I would recommend just if you can protest with what you can. Um, and say donating to certain causes is the virtual protest, in my opinion. It is like the because you're giving money to these organizations that are going to be out there doing stuff, doing good. You know what I mean? Um, Stuff like that. It's kind of a good. All right, next one is going to be just secondhand, like this shirt and this hat. Secondhand, obviously they're all washed, and I'm soak them, especially hats, because I'm not trying to get lice. But they are save you money, and there's more likely of something you're gonna find that you actually like, especially if you look on like eBay or Depop or Vinted, those kind of apps that are still secondhanded. You can find specific shirts. Like I was looking for a like faded, like plain just brown shirt. So stuff like that. You can find frames secondhanded, all these frames, except I think that one right there, that one right there, the blue one. Sorry, my camera's throwing me off. That one I bought, but everything else was either gifted for me, hand down, or secondhanded from Goodwill or um, Habitat for Humanity, all that kind of stuff. Same with furniture as well. Couch we bought, but you know, not buying a used couch, kind of gross. But like bookshelves, furniture, coffee tables, chairs, dining room tables, all that kind of stuff. Have our glasses thrifted, all that kind of stuff. Just secondhand. The less need for people to buy new things, the less new things are going to be made, and the less things that exist on this earth. Excuse me. So that's a good thing. Start doing. And it's cool. It's fun. It's almost like a treasure hunt because you don't know what you're gonna find if you go to like a Goodwill or thrift stores like that. So it's kind of cool. All right. Last thing I'm gonna bring up. It's kind of like a no-brainer when you think about it. Is just picking up trash. Just picking up trash. Now, I got to do that for a little bit, and then I kind of realized, like, I was like, oh well, like, I only want to picking up trash. Like, how is this like really changing anything? But if you think now, like now I'm older, have a different perspective, and I'm looking at it in a different view, that changes a lot, dude. Like, if you're out walking on the beach and you got a garbage bag and you're picking up trash, you know, someone else is gonna see that. A bunch of people are gonna see you do that, but one person might see that, like, oh, I'm gonna start doing that too. Then that person, you know what I mean? Then it kind of, or if you do stuff like this where you talk to people on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, social media about this stuff, that gets it out to more people doing it. Then they do that, kind of like a umbrella effect kind of thing where everyone starts helping out. So yeah, all right, that's gonna be it. I think I kind of got over the different topics that I wanted to discuss. Now, if there's anything I missed or I said anything incorrectly, obviously just drop in the comments. Um, on what I said wrong or what I missed or anything like that. Obviously, it's gonna be something I missed, but that's just from what I've been doing. That's what I've wanted to talk to you guys about. Um, but yeah, trying to do some more videos. I know it's been like over a month since the last one I did, but I'm trying to do another one later in the week or next week or so. But yeah, check out the other video if you haven't, and I'll make another one eventually.